Hello everyone, today we're at Bobbejaanland, which is just a short ways from Antwerp in Belgium, and really just more of a local Belgian park, but it happens to feature 8 roller coasters. It's a bit of a Gerstlaurer haven if you do like those coasters, because it features one of the original in Typhoon, but it also features one of the latest in Fury. It's backwards and frontwards, you choose the ride. Unique roller coaster that opened a couple of years back now, and many other rides and excitements within this park. It's fairly unique. I've never really been to a park like this before, so it should be interesting. It's also a Halloween event that's only running during the daytime, so I do have a pass for 2 haunted houses. There are 5 in total, and unlike some of the other European parks running haunt events, these ones are a little bit more affordable at €5 a piece, as opposed to €9.50 to €10 to even €25 for Bobbejaanland, fairly about 2 hours up the road from here. All right, so it's time for Bobbejaanland here in Belgium. The park is based on a famous Belgian celebrity that once The park is based on a Belgian celebrity who actually created the park for visitors that wanted to sort of express their love for the music, and it's only grown from there. All right, guys, here we go. First time ever, Bobbejaanland. Already getting a great feel for this park. It's it's fairly well struck out for this entrance area, and classic. It clearly was built up fairly amount. It was clearly built up it was clearly built a few decades ago, and still retains its original character, which is what we like to see. And more learning about myself on this trip is that I definitely like these more family-run and authentic, non-corporate types of amusement parks, of which this certainly seems like it is. Also, right next to the entrance is premium coffee, which is exactly what I want right now. Nothing like a great old amusement park that knows what First Drop's priorities are. The Bobbejaanland experience begins, and already I'm loving it. Very friendly staff that are so happy that someone from Canada is here. And of course, you got the coffee with the biscuit on the side, so you're getting the real deal here right at the start. And it's actually one of the best coffees that I've had on this trip. Sorry for the focus on that, but hey, I love the coffee. So these are the haunted houses, or at least one of them. Actually, I believe this is 2. I do have a ticket for possibly Yummy. I have a choice of 3, but I only have a pass for 2. Choice of 3 houses, but I get access to 2 of them. I might actually, if it's not too busy, I might actually get the full gamut and do all the houses here if I can, because they do seem pretty decent. I can go into one right now if I wanted to. But obviously we have priorities here, which are the 8 roller coasters that are on offer. But in addition to that, on-ride filming is approved here. So we're gonna get on-ride POVs of all the rides, which is always nice. Speaking of which, let's get on some. This is the Wild Water Slide, which I believe is actually their log flume. But for now, we're just going to do a little bit of an explore. Because even though the parking lot seemed busy, I parked right at the front gate. It just so happened. The Land of Legends. is the first themed area to greet us. But before we go in, there is a map here, as I didn't pick up one at the gate, just to give us an idea of what's going on. We have a log flume that's obviously in operation. A monorail goes around the entire park, which at the end of the vlog I'm definitely going to try out, because I have seen other vlogs from here and it looks like a really nice monorail system. It is one loop around water. As you can see, we're going in the opposite direction to try to beat the crowds to fury. So we're actually going to start with some tamer rides and a water ride to start possibly, before we get into the big action on the right side of the park, as you can see, including this very unique King Kong themed flat ride, which I'm excited to try out. There's a lot of interesting rides here, including dark rides and stuff, which are mainly on the side that we're on now. So hold on tight. It's going to be an action-packed day here at Bobbejaanland. I'm going to cheat this a little bit and go on to Typhoon, or at least assess the lineup so I know whether or not I need a speedy pass. Since we are doing Toverland today, we have about 5.5 hours in the park, and with 8 rides and haunted houses and many other attractions, it's going to take a bit of time to get through this park. Dare the beast that is Typhoon on this former ride car? Certainly not, but I definitely enjoy this theming.
Ik kan om 2 uur kijken, zie ik niet elkaar op dit zal dan blauw. Moet ik echt water, maar als ik zo kijk, dan... Ja, dat zie ik dus als ik de mannen stel. If you snap what I mean. Oh, hou op dit. Nou weer. Zo lekker wie.
No idea what this dummy contraption is, but it's fascinating as it just lowers onto the seat of a train. Unusual. Typhoon done, about a half an hour wait. I don't know what it is about lines with me, but yes, this is located right at the front of the park. No sooner did I get off, like the line is a third of what it was when I got into it. So yeah, it was about a half an hour wait, which is fine. We're gonna go and do Fury next and see what happens with that. Not a bad Gerst. This one has bad reputation for some strange reason as being rather rough, but I didn't really find it that bad at all. 4 inversions, relatively smooth for a ride that is the first of its kind. Yeah, don't believe the hype. Let's say that much about Typhoon. Time for the premier attraction here, at least at the moment, Fury, their Gerstlaurer Infinity coaster that opened in 2019, where you get to choose your fate of forward or backwards on this unique ride with a turntable that dictates the direction of travel for the train.
Olha, jongens.
Wel? Deze op je hoofd. Weet je nog? Oh, maar hier zit je ook
done. Unfortunately, well fortunately, I do want to do a front and a backwards ride on this Gerstlaurer Infinity coaster. It reminds me a lot of Tantrum, but like on steroids. That was way more surprisingly good than I thought it was going to be. That's really going to be a top Gerstlaurer, if not up there at the top for me, because that was fantastic. I don't know, it was very smooth. Well, I do know it was smooth. Great transitions, great inversions, tons of force, tons of speed. Yeah, what else can you say? I love the hang time on the end element as well, just behind me. Wow, really impressed. This is a world-class Gerstlaurer / roller coaster the park should be proud of, and unique for that, where you get to vote on which way you're going around. So yeah, that's a great start. Fury, fantastic ride. Definitely up there with one of the best. Gotten two big of the three coasters that are considered the big ones, I would say, in this park out of the way. Tremendously enjoyed both of them, to be honest, so it's gonna be a pretty good day here at Bobbejaanland. Security ride bikes here. Here we are, definitely in the Benelux. And we have another credit to get in now with the Bob Express, the Mack Rides powertrain, well, family powertrain. And we're off. Woohoo! the Bob Express. I will admit, that was a pretty good mine train, as my hair is definitely indicating that it was pretty fast. It's only been here for 22 years, but yeah, that was a really, really good mine train, and one of the best, I think, in the world from a Mack mine train perspective. Really long layout, lots of speed through the helixes and throughout the course, except for that sort of mid-course where it goes by the log flume. Great interactivity with that ride as well. I'm well impressed. 3 rides in, and I have to say that this is a sleeper of a park already. The rides here, you know, don't really draw people in from around the world, but if you do get here, you're in for a treat, because as well, I've only waited, I'd say about 25 minutes max for Typhoon, which is kind of unusual considering how old that ride is. But, you know, great little package of rides already, and I haven't even gotten into the park yet. So let's carry on and do our thing here at Bobbejaanland, where all the rides seem to be named after Bob in some sort or other. Next up is Indiana River, which is, I believe, a dark ride, water dark ride that is situated in this building behind me. We are at last on Indiana River. 2 comments. 1, most frustrating operations, which I will cover on the way out. 2, I know my geography pretty well. I'm not sure I'm familiar with an Indiana River in the jungle. I've been to Indiana. This don't look like Indiana to me. flash. Finally off Indiana River. Wow, 45-minute wait for that ride. And they were only sending passengers out like one every like 5 boats, which I do not understand. And also there was like a flashlight investigation for every boat. So I don't know. I'm just like theorizing that maybe somebody lost something on the ride and they're holding up the line. But now it's way longer than it was. Yeah, that was crazy. For a relatively short log flume, it was all right. Theming was okay. Definitely not going to do another ride on it, that's for sure. All right, we're going to the back of the park, of which a Vekoma suspended coaster is waiting for us, which I've never ridden one of these particular style of designs. But before we do, we have Okie Dokie coming up, which is another unusually themed coaster, a family ride. Okie dokie. Okay, so we've reached the back of the park now, which is where Kinderland is. We're just going to do a quick walk through of Kinderland, and then we're going to go on the suspended coaster, not for kinders, at the other side. Really, it's just the There's a great antique carousel. 2 stories. There's some bumper hovercrafts in here as well. An opera. There is an upstairs as well. I'm not going to go up there because I'm a little worried for my time today. And I want to make sure that we get some good coverage of the second park I'm going to. Thank you, Indiana River, for making today a little more tense than it would have been normally. I have noticed that this park has shorter lines for the bigger attractions, very family focused, so if you're coming here, you don't really seem to be under threat for a long wait for the big rides. It tends to be the family ones that are the ones that are really experiencing the longest waits, which is not bad for or what should be expected for a family-run theme park. Now we're going to try something that I have not done before, which is this Vekoma style suspended coaster. Now the family style, it does take the shape of one of those family style Vekomas, but it is the newer design. It doesn't feature any inversions. It really is more reminiscent of an old aerodynamics compact suspended coaster, if you will. Either way, it is the Dreamcatcher, and we're going on it next. Voodoo Bayou. I think this is actually free of charge. Ooh, the shamans are out and they are not happy. Oh, we better get out of here. All right. We might be followed into the bayou. Alright, we have a walk-through scare zone to go through, and it is complimentary. I will say this park seems to get it too. You need fog, even in the day. Not a bad little scare zone. No actors outside or inside. I think it would look actually really good at night as well. Sorry, we're dead. No apologies necessary. Okay, so 3 credits down. The Dreamcatcher was pretty decent for a family suspended. I definitely enjoyed the fact that those trains were swinging cars. Definitely gives a bit more give and makes it so that way it's not actually as rough of a ride as, say, those new, well, they're not that new anymore, but the family Vekoma suspended style of ride. Layout, a little bit average, I'd say. Nothing really to scream about, but as for a one-time ride, definitely, I guess, worth one shot. All right, so we're past the halfway point in the park now, so we're gonna go and get on a couple other rides. This is a very friendly park. Well, maybe not friendly there. And it's also pretty small. You can get around very fast. Here we have their Day of the Dead display. We are in the Western Town section as we came around the Mexican section, but the interior of which is closed, but not for us because Bazaar is inside one of their haunted houses, of which we have admission for. So we're gonna go inside now and check out our first scare maze here at Bobbejaanland, Bazaar. Alright, so we're done Bazaar, which was a clown maze and also sort of like a hall of mirrors. Probably the best part as you're being introduced to the clowns and the family, there was like a weird sensation going on below that I was like, what's going on? What's going on? Well, I peed my pants apparently, as you can see, as he definitely sort of sprayed you with some water, so that way when you came out, everyone has their pants wet. That's actually very creative, and I definitely like that. There's a couple of cool things in there, about 7 actors, all clowns, hidden in various scenes that pop out at you, as you would expect in this type of maze. I definitely enjoyed this sort of clown theater room that they had in there. There was a trauma tunnel as well. There was a lot packed in for a €5 maze. But in the meanwhile, there's some live entertainment going on here as well. So we'll just check this out. Foolishly, Casa is actually just the place where the tickets are sold. So there is a Texas Butcher one around here, which I just found. Hello. All right, all done with the Texas Butcher behind me. That is another standard style of theming for a maze, which is a slaughterhouse of sorts. Really well themed in there, however, tight and claustrophobic, and the way they have it laid out, it's really hard to figure out where you're going. So you get introduced through this kitchen, and then you got to climb in under. There's like a caged element room where you got to open these cages, which is really cool, and then you meet the butcher at the end of the journey. Real good maze, to be honest. I'm kind of surprised that I've never really heard about this event before. Before we possibly get to any more haunted houses, as I've used my 2 credits, but I think I'm going to do 2 more if the time permits. We do have a credit to get on, which is Speedy Bob. This is a Mac Wild Mouse that formerly had 2 tracks, but I think they went and sold on one of them, and now it is just a 1-track Wild Mouse. It used to be a mirror design. which was popular back in the day, not so much anymore. We'll see you when we get off of Speedy Bob. Just one of many Bob-themed coasters here at Bobbejaanland. Okay, so Speedy Bob is done. I wish I had a bit more time because there's another interesting scare maze called Corp over there, which is like an infestation themed maze. But I did notice on Speedy Bob, if you didn't notice yourself, that there are skeletons littered all over the River Rapids ride here. So I'm gonna go on that right now. It's called El Rio. And yeah, it certainly looks cool with all of the added scare elements going on with it. My pants are already wet, right? So I might as well give it a go. I am loving the fact that those swings from you know, a swing ride are actually being used with skeletons. That's kind of cool. Some very creative ideas going on with this park. I'm definitely enjoying. And that was especially for me. I have to admit, that was actually a very good rapids ride. That was solid even without the theming, but with that spooky theming, that was exceptional. That's going to be one of the things I remember from this haunt season, because a haunted rapids ride, stellar. Well done. Definitely enjoyed El Rio. This park is actually now on this side really taken over by the haunt, as you can see. We still have 2 credits to go though, so we need to hustle a bit. And there is also the log flume that we haven't got on. We've already done one infamous one, but there's another one outdoors, obviously, that we would like to get onto too. Plus maybe a couple of haunted houses. With that introduction to the nuns earlier, I'm pretty sure I want to do the monastery before I head out of the park. If not, a couple of houses more, but we'll see what time permits. We've got about an hour left before we have to move on. And of course there's the monorail too that unfortunately I don't think we're going to have time for today. But stay tuned, you never know. It all depends on how long the lines are. Adventure Valley. Farewell. We don't want to be in his territory. He does not like us here. And of course, I forgot one attraction that I have to get on, which is King Kong. This very unusual flat ride. An unbelievable contraption that we're going to go on right now. These? that was quite an interesting ride. It's actually by Vekoma. It was definitely a purpose-built or custom-built coaster. I thought after that introduction, I was like, where's this thing going? We're just gonna go up and then just spin down, but it was all right. Some interesting effects, nothing crazy though. I wish that we had time to go on the Forbidden Caves, as I've done a little bit more research into it. But as you can tell by the pace of my speech, we're on a time limit now. We've got Naga Bay, which is right here. We also have Belgian television here too to check out things as well. So I will be honest, there's been a lot of YouTubers, influencers, or whatever you want to call them. There's lots of people with GoPros here today. So there's, yeah, it's kind of like a heartland for enthusiasts, if you will. Like, much like parks in my area of town, like Cedar Point, and I'm not comparing this park to Cedar Point by any stretch of the imagination, but it's our final credit of the day, which is Naga Bay. Because it is a spinning coaster with a limited capacity, it's got a fair bit of a weight to it. Okay, so it's a wrap from Bobbejaanland. I think I'm getting better with my pronunciation as we go. It's been a great day. I wish I had had more time here. I did get all the credits though, so that's good. And the lines weren't that bad. If I had done a Speedy Pass route, obviously I probably would have gotten maybe another ride on Fury or two. It does cost €4.90 for that each time you use it. So it's not exactly a cheap option if you want to get a couple of attractions in. It is a Saturday in the park today and the haunt event, so when you take that into consideration, you probably, on most regular days like a weekday visit, could probably get tons of re-rides in this park. And if the opportunity presents itself and I happen to be back at a time like that, I certainly will take advantage of that, because it's certainly a park I would like to visit again. Just for perspective's sake, I didn't even get more than once around the park, and I also didn't get to eat as well. So, as I said, there is more than enough to do here. Indiana River situation was very frustrating. I wish I had not actually rode that ride, because I would have led left more time to do others in the park that I probably would have enjoyed more anyway. But it is a log flume, so I got to get it out of the way anyway. So luckily that's done, and then I'll probably never ride it again. I'll say that much. So if you, if you need some insight, don't do Indiana River if you're short for time. But that's it from Bobbejaanland. We're off back to Holland. Thank you for watching. I hope to be back soon.